So really excited to show you today the brand new 2026 model FM series flail mowers. This is the new Pro model. So this is a brand new design for us. We've taken the old model, which we've produced for 15 years now. We've taken all of the feedback, all of the customer comments, and just made it better, stronger, more robust, easier to use. Same as all of our stuff, it's produced right here in-house at our factory in Great Britain. And that's one of the things that gives us the key control over the quality. So we know that any product coming out the door has that quality that we put into everything, and it's backed by a global 2-year warranty. So at the front of the machine, you've got the swivel hitch system we use on here. So this is for a 50mm ball coupling. It's nice and easy. It's nicely balanced with the wheels to the side of the machine. It balances easily. It's got a swivel on there as well, so it tows along easily, prevents any issues with overrun. And then when you latch it on, you've got this indicator here. So it shows that it's latched and safe and secure. You can also as well specify a pin hitch option to replace that if you've not got a 50mm ball on the towing vehicle. You've got the attachment point here for a jockey wheel. So if you're running the machine with the wheels trailing it, it has a higher hitch load, and you put a jockey wheel on here, and that means you can hitch and unhitch the machine easily. Back from there, you've got your drawbar angle adjuster. So this one here, this top link arrangement, if you've got a vehicle with a high or low drawbar, you use this to adjust the angle. It's nice and easy to use. You just twiddle that as you need to, lock it down with that lock bolt, adjust it as and when. So we've got the swivel hitch arrangement on here. So this is a new system. We try to make it even easier to use and even more robust. So you've got a pin here, press that button, your pin will pop out. You then, if you need to offset the machine, push it left or right, pop that pin in the relevant hole, and you're good to go. You can also as well, if you pull that out, you can swing the drawbar right the way around and pop it in there so it's got a storage position. So if you're going to put it in the back of the shed, you know you're not going to use it for a couple of months, you can put it back there, and it just takes up a little bit less space. So the front debris flap on these, we've moved this to using a polyurethane material, which is really, really hard wearing. So previously this would have been a natural rubber with an ozone compound, and we've now moved to this high quality polyurethane. So we've put that in there to make the machine better, longer lasting and easier for you to use. We're using Strenx steel on the deck of these. So what we've done in order to keep the machine weight down so the new model weighs less than the old model is we've moved to this super high strength steel. So this is Strenx 700. It's 3 times as strong as the steel we were using on the old model. But that means you've got a super robust deck, but it weighs less than the old model. So it's harder than the old model, but weighs less. The Honda engine on here, so this is a Honda GX800, so it's a 25 horsepower V-twin petrol engine with electric start as standard. So this runs on normal unleaded, so normal gasoline. For the new model Flail, we've got a new design for the screen grid guard. This part here extends the running interval of these engines massively. So this is your intake grid for the cooling air for this air-cooled engine. It's something that we worked with Honda for a number of years to develop. It took us a long time to get the full warranty approval on there with Honda, but we do that because that detail is what matters in terms of making sure you've got the full coverage down the line. The screen grid guard system gives you a much longer run time before you have to clear any chaff, especially in dry environments, dusty environments. Servicing is really, really easy. You've got a couple of clips, that's your air filter in there. Pop that back on. You've got your fuel filter at the front here, oil filter down here, and then you've got your filler cap at the back. That's your oil level here. What we've done is we've taken the rotor out of one of our CFM, our compact tractor flail. So it's an actual tractor flail rotor. It's a huge hulking great thing. Massive amount of weight to it, and that weight gives you a lot more momentum and a lot more cutting energy. So if you get into a real tough patch, you've got that power to get through it. The flails we use on these, so these are really, really heavy duty flail. So if you see on these, that's 750 grams, that flail. And there's depending on the model, between 22 and 26 on each of these. So there's a huge amount of weight in that unit. So this is one that's developed specifically for us. It's used on the new FM range and the CFM tractor mounted range. runs on a wearing bush as well, so that's not going to wear out on a high tensile bolt. So really, really nice unit. You see you've got a nice sharp cutting edge on there as well, but because it's forged and hardened to our specification, we know that these last for years and years without wearing out. So the skids on these, you've got your 2 skids either side, so that if you're cutting and a wheel falls into a wet spot, for instance, it will bear on the skids rather than bearing out on the rotor. These are replaceable, so these are in their lowest setting, so that makes your best protection in terms of on rough ground is to have them set like this. If you're on smooth ground and you want to cut really, really tight, you can drop these down to the next hole and it will allow you to cut even tighter to the ground if you really want to get a tight finish. So at the top here we've got a centrifugal clutch system, so this means when you rev the machine up, or with this new model, when you just press the cut button, it revs up and your drive cuts right in. This is a unit we've developed ourselves along with a clutch manufacturer. It is bespoke to this machine and it weighs an absolute ton. Again, this is what gives you the difference. This unit just goes and goes and can handle all the power that engine is putting out. And that's the devil in the detail that we do here. When you tension the belts, you've got the spring there which allows for the bedding in, and it's easy to adjust or replace as you need to if the belts do wear. So one of the big differences with this new model is the remote control system we've got. So if we look at the receiver unit down here on the engine, this just sits there when you want to use the machine. When it's beeping, it's ready to work, it's looking for a signal. It just means you've got the e-stop in case there's an issue on the machine as well. So I'll reset that one. This is the control unit that sits in the cab with you, and this does all of your controls. You've got your start, your stop, your height adjustment, gives you the readout on here for what the engine is doing. Sits in the cab with you or on the towing vehicle, whatever you're towing it with. This shows you what's going on front and center. So let's look at that in a bit more detail. And just turn this unit on and it will come up with a splash screen here, just while it initializes. Once it's connected, showing it's got full reception, it's ready to start, you are ready to go. Let's fire that up, press this button here, and it will then initialize the engine. So there's a pause while it communicates, issues a warning beep, and then it will fire the engine up, engine running, and it starts outputting your data screens as you need. And then when you're ready to start mowing, you press this button here, and you'll see the cutting, the status switches to cutting. This is your rotor loading, so that jumped up briefly when we started it because it had to do some work, but it's now up to running speed. When you're done cutting, press that button and it will drop it down to idle. There's a couple other things on here to show you. So we've got another menu screen here with a few things you can change as required. If you've got the optional electric height limit or height control, that is controlled by these 2 buttons here. And then when you're done for the day, all you got to do, you can switch the engine off there, or if you just press the power button, it'll shut the unit off and kill the unit. This is a new fuel tank and battery design that we've got on here. So it's a bigger fuel tank, so we've got 50% more capacity in here than the old model. It's all, as before, made out of steel, so it's 3mm steel, so you're not going to be, you can have a branch fall on this and it's just going to shrug it off. It's not going to be damaged or affected by that. So bigger fuel tank. We've got a new fuel cap on there. It's a nice 1/4 turn cap. We specified a captive chain on this, so even if you drive off and forget to put the cap back on, you're not going to lose the thing. You're not going to have to come to us and buy a new cap. This is your fuel level sight glass. It's a simple little feature, but it does make a big difference in terms of usability, because you can quickly glance back and just check what your fuel level is like. So the battery's moved next to the fuel tank under this plastic cover. It's a bigger battery to cope for the extra load with the fuel injection system and the electronic control system, but it's all nice and secure under this cover, and it's sloped so the chaff slides off there, keeps it nice and clean. At the back of the machine, there are a couple of changes worth noting. This is the rear guard on these. You can adjust the guard. You can both raise it if you're in really heavy stuff, you want to make sure it's being evacuated out of the machine better. You can adjust it using the bolts on the side, And also you can pivot it up, so if you need to get in there for servicing, take out the bolts, open that up, and you can just get access nice and easily for changing. This is your anti-scalping roller. We've moved this much closer to the actual flails themselves. So you know that if you lose a wheel in a rut, you're not going to ground the rotor out. This is right by the flails, so it's just protecting the machine from scalping and grounding out. So your main height adjustment is done at the back of the machine here using this height adjustment jack. This is the manual one. We also do an option with electronic height adjustment that's done from the control box. So pop that pin out with the manual one, and then you adjust your height as required, up or down, put that back in, and it's got a nice captive holder there. You've also as well, you've got a scale down here on the front, so you can see what height you're going at, so you can repeat that if you know, oh, we need to cut a level 4 in that field, or whatever it is, quick and easy to repeat that. The wheels on these are 22 by 11 by 8. They're a nice big flotation tyre. They're a good quality tyre with a nice carcass thickness and a good tread pattern on there. Gives you grip on wet ground with this aggressive tread pattern, but also you've got this section here which is better for running along trackways when you're travelling between fields. We've redesigned the adjustment system, or the system that attaches the axles and the rear bar on these, so it's both easier to use and quicker to change between wheels trailing and wheels to the side. Undo these 3 bolts here, M12, so 19mm socket. Rotate the wheel around so it runs behind the machine and within the width of the machine. Refit your 3 bolts and tighten them up. Some other systems around that aren't going to stick the heavy use and abuse these machines get when they're working hard. So we've gone for this system, and we've been testing it for over 2 years to know that it's going to stick the use that our customers give these. So this is the new FM120 Pro for 2026. Brand new, but it's been tried and tested to make sure the quality is 100% ready to go from day one. We are super excited by it. It's a genuine game changer. There's nothing out there like it, and the quality that you'd expect from Chapman. Available now. Check out our YouTube videos, our website, or speak to us for more information.